Yes, let's start. Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru-Paramparam Shruti-Smriti-Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, Priyam everyone, and Namaste, welcome. Um, yeah. Does someone want to chant? Oh, sorry, not this. So 24 and 25. Does someone want to chant? Okay, I'll chant. त्वयि मयि चान्यत्रैको विष्णुः व्यर्थं कुप्यसि मय्यसहिष्णुः भवसमचित्तः सर्वत्र त्वं वाञ्छस्य चिराद्यदि विष्णुत्वं शत्रौ मित्रे पुत्रे बन्धौ मा कुरु यत्नं विग्रहसन्धौ सर्वस्मिन्नपि पश्यात्मानं सर्वत्रोत्सृज भेदाज्ञानम् कामं क्रोधं लोभं मोहं त्यक्त्वात्मानं भावय कोऽहम् आत्मज्ञानविहीना मूढाः ते पच्यन्ते नरकनिगूढाः गेयं गीता नाम सहस्रं गेयं गीता नाम सहस्रं ध्येयं श्रीपतिरूपमजस्रं नेयं सज्जनसङ्गे चित्तं तेयं दीनजनाय च वित्तम् भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि रक्षति दुःखिं So we are seeing verse 26, and last time we kind of elaborated on kamam. Here the student is saying to all of us that the student being Sumati probably, or Bharati Vamsha, one of them, is saying that give up these that are the direct causes of your mental disturbance. In other words, if one wants to engage in Bhaj Govindam, a mind which dwells on the permanent, which are on the permanent, what is it? If one wants to discover that, if one wants to know something that doesn't fall in the realm of the senses, then it can only be Shabda Praman. There's nothing else. Everything else will fall in the realm of the senses. Inference is also through senses. So all our knowledge will be sensory based and they keep us entangled. But if someone wants to engage in a process where one is dwelling on, wanting to know, thinking about, discovering, knowing what is, let's simplify because Bhaj Govindam is a simple text. What is consciousness? Technical, actual word, wrong would be technical. Real word is Brahman. We keep hearing this throughout. You are Brahman. Your real nature is Brahman. Your Swarupam is Brahman. Once you know you are Brahman, you are liberated. You are enlightened. You will be freed of this cycle of birth and death. You'll be freed of samsara. You'll be freed of sukham and dukham. Dukham in particular, which we are interested in. You'll be freed. You'll be free. That's called gaining liberation, having a sense of freedom. But despite hearing it again and again, I am Brahman. Shravanam of the Shastra also continues. But somehow, I am Brahman. Whenever the portion actually comes in Vedantic study, we find that even in the Upanishads, it's not that you only have Atma Gyan throughout. Like we saw in the Bhagavad Gita, you have few verses in second chapter. Then you have all preparation, third, fourth verse. Then again you will get it in 15th chapter, 13th chapter. So in between you will get Atma and Atma Viveka, which is actually revealing to us what my Swarupam is. But every time it comes like that, that portion comes. If we observe ourselves, we are either passive listeners. What is a passive listening? That way. You know. But so after the teacher finishes all that you are Brahman and Atman, but but how do I address this problem? But how do I get rid of this? But why? How do I solve this? The mind is not able to pick up the entire process of the knowledge. Process I'm only using as a compromised word. That you are Brahman, that knowledge doesn't seep in. It doesn't hold our attention, really speaking. What holds our attention are the examples that pertain to our daily life. What holds our attention is how do I get rid of this problem, or I am facing this. What is my rag? What is my dvesh? How do I? They're all within the confines of accepting that I have avidya and I am not addressing avidya. I am addressing the problems that have come because of avidya. My attention remains there. So, what are these that are becoming really an obstacle? Shastra says here, this verse says here, identify these are the ones that are making you passive listeners because your mind has these in it. you are attached to these. युक्त हो आप. किससे युक्त हो? वी ऑल नो. किससे युक्त हैं हम? युक्त मीन्स जुड़े हुए हैं, तादात्म्य है. वी आर फीलिंग वन विद वॉट? शरीर. विद वॉट? आर फीलिंग्स. Let's not use the word mind and intellect and ego and chit, and all these words will make us feel, ha, I know. Antakaranam, sukshma shariram, mano, buddhi, chit, ahankar. Manaha is sankalpa vikalpatmika manaha. Buddhi is nishchayatmika buddhi, etc. Ahankar is deho, ham, ahankar, that which joins. How much attention on knowing it? But here he is saying, what is preventing us from becoming an engrossed listener? Our attention should be passive in the rest of them. It should be passive in the rest of the prakarna. हाँ ठीक है, हाँ ठीक है, हाँ ठीक है. Because my manan that this is samsar should be complete. What is it in samsar? This is samsar. This is the nature of samsar. यहाँ सुख मिलता नहीं है. जितना मिलता है थोड़ा सा, it's like a lollipop pleasure, and it goes away very soon. Before I can even enjoy it and I can hold it, the pleasure is already gone. This is the nature. Gain and loss is the nature. Pleasure and pain is the nature. Should it surprise me? Should it surprise me that there are problems that keep emerging in my life? A true student is ready to face them, knowing that life in Dehoham cannot be freed of all these problems, of all these issues. Therefore, if supposing someone goes elaborating on this, how to be productive, how to be efficient, how to get rid of this and that, I should be passive. Good. Good if I know it. Maybe it helps. Topically, it can help. But what is my proportion of attention? My proportion of attention should only be in proportion to my understanding that samsara is not resolvable without jnanam. If I understand that it is not resolvable, then kitna attention deke main kitna. In the previous verse, what did he say? With your shatrau mitre, putre bandhav, ma kuru yatnam, vigraha sandhav. Do not go beyond a little effort. If it doesn't work out, have titiksha, have patience, have shamadama, develop, use it as a means at any cost. What is primary for a student is my antakaranam is to remain in samatvam. That is my first practice, for which I do all the other sadhanas. All my antarang, bahirang sadhanas, whatever they are, I can take up any means. But what is my objective? My objective is I refuse to lend power to anybody or anything to disturb me on its own without my permission. Why? Because the price of that disturbance is too high. What is the price? The price is when the actual portion of Vedanta comes in my life, my mind will be too preoccupied with all this, what he's talking now in the 26th verse. Kamam, Krodham, Lobham, Moham. These are the direct causes which disturb the mind. मेरा मन इन्हीं में बैठा होगा. What is kamam? We saw in the last class in great details, I think. The desire to gain something, to have something with an idea that this should be mine and it will give me some happiness. That is desire. How does it start? We saw in the Gita, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha. A single thought that I get attracted to, some object or person, and then my mind likes it. Why does it like it? My Purva Samskar, because the same object may not be an object of like for someone else. My likes, my gravitation towards it is telling me that I have a samskar towards such things, and it starts dwelling on it. I start renumerating on it. And then a thicker stream of thought starts to build towards that object. And at some point, it gets restless that till I own it up, I don't feel content. I feel disturbed. That is calm. What happens in the process of calm, we saw in the Gita, if anyone remembers, in the process of gaining my fulfillment, if I see someone else trying to also gain that object of happiness, I see them direct impediments to my pursuit of happiness, I get angry. So, my desire fulfillment that I am working for, if I see someone else as a pratibandhak, as creating an obstacle in whichever way, through their own want of it, or I suddenly get anger, irritation, anger. That antakaranam, that mind, which is supposed to be reflective, quiet, calm, poised, equipoised, balanced. Use any term that comes close to your, uh, you feel close to as a word which can trigger the sankalpa or the resolve. Yes, that's what I want to keep my mind as. For that, all these are direct sources of disturbance. Lobham, once I've got fulfilled, I want more and more. I also don't want anyone else to have it, because that, it's a, we have to identify हम करते क्या हैं. What do we do? An object that I look upon as मेरे को खुशी देगा वो. Before you get the object, before one starts to acquire the object, there is already the thought. Why do I start a pravritti? Why do I engage towards wanting to get it? Because I impose on it, it will give me happiness. I see, I feel, I think it will give me happiness. Therefore, so I should get it. And the minute I say I should get it, abhi to it has not come to me. What has happened? Asha, hope. My hope starts building around wanting that object. And that hope, once it is met, now I want to hold on to it. I want it. Lobe. And lobe, then I get attached to it. I get deluded. All kinds of vikar in my mind. I'm jealous. I'm envious. I am, Shastra says, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. These are completely the list of everyone's disturbance. Fascinating also. सभी का डिस्टर्बेंस मन में जो डिस्टर्ब हुआ है, वन ऑफ दीज मन का विकार है, या काम है, या क्रोध है, या लोभ है, या मोह है, या मद है, या मात्सर्य है. Either there is desire, there is anger, there is greed, there is confusion, or there is attachment, there is envy, and there is arrogance. Just this. He says, Tyaktva, chhod do. This itself is like a full life work, I think. हमारा जीवन निकल सकता है इसमें आराम से, और कुछ पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. We don't need to know anything else. This is the source. त्यक्त्वा, छोड़कर. That's the actual meaning. Having left it. Leave it and having left it. त्यक्त्वा, छोड़कर. Leave it. What do you leave? Kamam, krodham, lobham, moham, madam, matsarya. Having left it, now there will be antakaranam, shanti, and you will be alert also. You will be peaceful and you will be inquiring. Your mind will be quiet and your buddhi will be available. To dwell on what? To do vichar. What vichar? Bhavaya koham. Entertain this thought of who am I? Ko hum. Kaha aham. Who am I? Are you seeing the presentation? No?
Yes, PPT. So text, right? PPT?
The PPT.
No,
No.
no,
Okay.
I can only see the text.
Okay. 1 minute. Let me. Yeah. Now you should. Right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Kaha aham. Kamam, krodham, lobham, moham, tyaktva, atmanam. By one's own self, reflect, bhavaya, entertain, think. What? Kaha aham. Who am I? Who am I is a very beautiful question, really speaking. Beautiful. It's a very revealing question. It can take one to the very source of one's existence. All I have to contemplate is, who am I? What do you consider as I? I can, anyone wants to, what do you consider as I? We keep doing this exercise just to remind ourselves. What do you consider as I? May,
Me, the person. Me, Shalini.
me, the
I.
person, Shalini. Then what is there to think about who am I? I'm already concluded. I'm a person, I'm Shalini. It's an example. What is it that you have to contemplate on? Who do I think I am? Start thinking. I'm a person. Is that who I am? I'm Shalini. Is that who I am? Who am I? We all know the sequence of thoughts, I think almost all of us know. We won't go into that. The fact that I cannot answer beyond this. If someone wants to say, you are most welcome to.
Diptiji will keep removing the tags, no? And then we are left with who am I?
Yes.
Add-ons.
Absolutely. Now the question is that what we are keep on moving towards. Do we think enough to discard what our buddhi concludes as not me? Have I been able to come to anything to say this is not me? And the only example I have at least known is Ramana, who could follow this question to the source. It looks like a very simple question. Who am I? To most of us, there is no doubt. But when you start picking up the superimpositions that we have done on I, मेरे परसेप्शन में जो मैं हूँ उसका जो मुझे ज्ञान है, अगर मैं देख सकूं कि मैंने क्या क्या उस पर लेपा है, what all have I imposed on myself, only when I remove that will I have a glimpse on who am I. The final answer is we are pure consciousness, we are Brahman, we are Nityam, we are Anandam, we are Sarvagnyam. That is the final answer. But why is it that I am not able to contemplate on this? Because my mind is involved in kamam, krodham, lobham, moham, etc. What is the purpose of life? क्यों हम बड़े होके हम किसी, if you are a young mother or you'll see your child growing up, or if you have observed your own self when you were growing up, there were ideas of what do I want to do in life, what do I want to become in life, all this that goes on adding somewhere to say what should I do of my life, क्या करूं इस जीवन का मैं. So we form relations, we work, we have etc. All this that we have was for what? By the time we grow older, he said in the previous verses, the idea is okay, when you are young, you still have to maybe acquire, maybe spend some, involvement in the world to be independent, to gain some. Okay, fine. But having gained it, if you have a house to live, you have food on your table, you have clothes, you have some comforts in life, good enough, and most of us have more than enough comforts in life. Is my mind in the state of reflection, contemplation? What is the contemplation to be done on? It's not a vague contemplation. It's not a contemplation of saying that, are there more galaxies? Chandrayaan, and what is this? Mangalayan. What will happen if we find water over there? This is also contemplation. If we have habitation on Mars, that is also contemplation. Is that contemplation going to relieve my samsar? All that contemplation has done is, all such natured contemplation has done is, it's built up more weapons, more warfare, more division, more insecurity, because I'm looking for life somewhere else, trying to find a home somewhere else. So much involvement of thinking is there. Ko hum. This is one part. Part means one text. Sometimes is a pathantaram, means, as we have said, these were all manuscripts. So maybe somebody while writing made a little difference, error. Instead of bhavaya koham, there is a pathantaram which says pashyati soham. Pashyati means see. Soham means saha aham. That Brahman I am. Pashyati soham. No? And if your child or your grandchild is soham itself, what will you see? Soham. Pashyati soham. Seeing, seeing, not knowing. Keep reflecting till you are able to see, recognize. Saha aham. I am that fullness, I am that consciousness, I am not these layers that I call myself. Take one example. Let's take an example. No point moving ahead. Take an example that I get disturbed by. Any example. Say,
Relationships.
a specific example. What about a relationship?
Like if the relationship is not going well,
Okay, but what in
between
it? Uh, on your
like you
own,
have
on
both.
your own, what do you conclude yourself? It should be a reflection of, this is very specific here. Ko hum. Kah aham, who am I? Or I have to see so hum, I am that. So, what am I seeing myself as today? Take a specific example of that. Is the question clear? So, take an example of that.
Of the roles being played, Dipiji.
Sorry?
Of the roles being played.
Okay, roles being played. Take any one specific example.
Mother.
Mother.
Me
Okay.
the mother.
Me, the mother. Right. So, me, the mother, has a whole lot of unfoldment of qualities along with it, because what comes in the first conclusion, that I am a mother, the minute you give birth to a child, now you're a mother, sealed, fate sealed. Hmm. Now what is it about a mother that starts motivating you, that starts propelling you?
Everything for the child. The best for the child.
For the child. And what do you start doing? What is the conclusion you draw on yourself? Sorry?
We start doing chinta.
We start doing chinta. Yes.
Do we feel that we are the caretaker of that particular child?
Excellent. Very good. That we are the caretaker of that child. What else? ये तो आप लोगों के टिप्स पे होना चाहिए. यू आर ऑल मदर्स.
We feel हमारे बिना हो नहीं पाएगा.
हाँ, हमारे बिना हो नहीं पाएगा. और about yourself. See, now all these, if
मुझे
you,
ही तब करना है.
okay, मुझे ही तब करना है. What else?
Anything the child does is a reflection on me.
हाँ, very good. Excellent. That's what I was trying to do. Subconsciously, unconsciously, and unwantingly, the focus is that child is a reflection of me. Anything the child does reflects me. That means I am always on my toes. I got to be a good mother. I got to be a perfect mother because it's on me. Now start. If these are the layers on your role, it's a role. आपने example लिया है. It's a role. First, it's a role. Start unwinding that role. It's a role. What about a role can you do chintan on? Chintan, not chinta. What about the role can you start doing chintan on?
It's not the only role I play.
Very good. That's the first one. It's not the only role I play. But to my mind, what is happening?
It's the most important thing right now.
It occupies, it amplifies it. It occupies everything. It occupies my mind completely. That role overpowers all other roles. When it overpowers, what happens next?
We get obsessed about.
Excellent. You get involved, you get obsessed, you start justifying, even though your buddhi, you said just now it is one of the roles. In that one of the role, but it's occupying almost all of your mind. Are the other roles really playing as important? How does this role become so solely important ultimately? Because it's a reflection of me. It's my. So how will you unfold that now? Peel off the layer. See, in thinking, you start peeling off the layer, just as we peel off the onion layers. Peel off whatever I'm holding. To each one, they are all going to be the same, but the intensities of one or the other may be more. What else? If this is one of the roles,
Not for me. Yes, through me.
right?
He's not for me. He's through me.
Okay, that's a counter for it. That's okay. But what else? My perfect mother. I'm anxious as a mother. I fear as a mother. I'm attached as a mother. I'm concerned as a mother. I do more than necessary. I start justifying my involvement. It's one of the roles. Primary, yes, okay, fine, accept it. But I give it more than what I should maintain the um, reality about. What is the reality? Is it about the child or is it about me? Why am I so caring? Why am I so involved? Why am I so obsessed?
It's about me. It becomes more about me.
Now, peel it off.
I'll do the best that I can.
And can I stop at that?
I should stop at that.
And if I am not able to stop, what should I do?
Work on myself and understand that the child is also an individual. At some stage of our life, we will have to let go. And we've done our bit. We've put in whatever effort we needed to put in for them. And now it's their life. And we are not responsible. We can't take control.
So that is when your children have grown up. Even when the children are young, what exercise should you do? Both ways, you're right. When they've grown up, this is what we should be doing when the children are young. What else? It's not me, correct? Can I ever forget that? And what is this? It's a Bhaj Govindam, as I say, it's Mohamutkara, so there has to be a hammering of reflection. What is that which can bring a real perspective to my overbearingness as a role? Any role. I may say I become overbearing as a teacher. It can be any role in life, as a daughter, as a wife, as a friend. It can percolate into anything. That's one of the examples we've taken. I can be a professional. I'm a doctor. I can forget that, you know, lives are not in my hand. I can do my best, but lives are not in my hand. Mistakes will happen. Somebody dies on my table. As a doctor, there are doctors who go through real terrible self judgment and absolutely. Why? Because let's we are students of Vedanta. I am presuming and I'm hoping and I'm extending it as students of Vedanta. You know, what is it that I do with these thoughts that occupy my mind? They're ultimately thoughts that cover my mind, occupy my mind, keep me busy, keep me entangled, keep my focus on them. While my buddhi has understood that all this is transient, all this is fleeting, then what is it that I am not doing? From this verse, one word, what is it that I am not doing?
Vichar.
Okay, before that,
Practice.
okay, before that,
Letting go.
okay,
Letting go.
right, letting go. And in the verse, what is the word for it? Tyaktva, letting go, tyaktva. What my buddhi has understood. Am I doing tyaktva? What is tyaktva? Is tyaj. Tyaj means giving it up. What have I to give up? What I am holding. What am I holding is disturbing my mind. That is why I need to give it up. Our old example, we take it. It was an observation. Later on, I realized it's also probably one of the famous examples, but I did not hear it. I had observed it while walking in a park years ago. There was an owner who would bring a dog to walk, and the dog was a very restless dog, was a very active dog. So the dog needed to run, the dog needed to be actively involved, play, and but the owner couldn't be as brisk as the dog wanted to be. The owner had held the leash, taking the dog for a walk. My question always at that time, it came to me, who is holding whom? Is the owner holding the dog? Has the owner taken the dog for a walk? Or has the dog taken the owner for a walk? Who has taken whom? Who's holding whom?
Dog has taken.
Dog has taken owner because the owner wanted to sleep but had to get up in the morning to take the dog for a walk because the dog had to go for a walk. Dog needed the exercise. Dog needed to, etc. Now, who's holding whom? We think I am the one who's doing this. Wherever, as we have just stated, हमने जिसको पकड़ा है, most of us at the intellect level become very clear because Vedanta is a very clear subject. आप कहीं से भी सुनो, किसी को भी सुनो, Vedanta, mostly, as long as it's a traditional Vedanta conveys efficiently, clearly. मुश्किल कहाँ है? बुद्धि ने जो समझा है
हमारी समझ में,
वो हमने जो पकड़ा है उसको छोड़ने में. मैंने बच्चे पकड़े, मैंने घर पकड़ा है, मैंने पैसा पकड़ा है, मैंने इज्जत पकड़ी है, मैंने रिश्ते पकड़े हैं, मैंने पकड़ा है. एंड ये तो हम, बिकॉज एग्जाम्पल इज रिश्ता. इज वेदांता रियली ओनली गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट रिश्ता? आपने सबसे बड़ी चीज, इफ यू आर सटलर इन योर विचार, if you have antakarana shuddhi and you can go subtle, rishte are no big deal to handle, really speaking. You don't even become a student of Vedanta unless until you have learned the knack of remaining harmonious in relations. It's not a topic of Vedanta. आपने असल में क्या पकड़ा है? What have you really held on? What are you holding on?
शरीर,
Hmm?
मैं शरीर,
Excellent.
शरीर
Very
हूँ.
good. You are holding on to your body. What is the vichar? I said this is a moha mudgara. So I'm going to bring in that last point. What is that point that will give a correct perspective to all these disturbances? The vichar of me at my last moment. कभी तो त्यक्तवा करना है ना, इस शरीर को त्यक्तवा करना है. What is kamam, krodham, lobham, moham in respect to that? Which will be more difficult? हमको, to us it's even desire, anger. I am angry. And if your buddhi is really got clear with the knowledge and your resolve is firm because you understand that the finality is what Shastra has shown me is my picture. ये मेरी शरीर यात्रा दिखाता है. It reveals to me what my life journey is about. It's not theory. Forget it. If anybody thinks Shastra is theory, you are holding the Shastra from a wrong end. You will never reach the Tatparyam of it. It is not theory. It is actually showing, pointing to what is happening, for which we have a gyan. हमारे साथ what is happening to us, we are not able to recognize. We have a gyan about it. That Shastra is showing to us as a mirror. But what happens? We take it as understanding because it takes effort to even understand. We need the buddhi to understand. It takes time to understand. That's perfect. That's the first step. But what we have understood, it doesn't, the freedom doesn't come by just understanding. I have to now see what Pashyati. I have to see what the Shastra is telling me. Is it that I can hold on to the body forever? Am I? What is that leaving going to be? And if I have to leave the body, what has come with the body? Now you should get the manan complete. What has come with the body? In the example that we are on.
Relations.
But in the example that we are on, what has come with the body? What is the example we are talking about? Okay, correct. What is what is the example we are taking to peel off?
Motherhood, you are taking. We are taking
Motherhood. So what has come with the body? Motherhood.
The child.
The example, stick to the example. The example is the role of a mother. How has that role of a mother come? With the body. Having come with the body I have to leave. So will that not give me a correct perspective of the role now? Now what is my role going to be when I know that when I leave the body? Tyaktva. For the one who's left behind, I may still be in their memory. But for me, Vismriti, who's my child? In the previous verse is who's my mother? Which verse is it? Who's my mother? Who's my father? One of these verses in Bhaj Govindam. What is the verse? Think, who is my mother, who is my father?
Didiji, we can also use the word Yavat Bhavan Nivasati Devi, Tavat Prichati. That will also be applicable.
Tavat Prichati Kushalam. No, no, that's a little different. That is more like, as long as I'm a capable person, but you can counter it. That's okay. You can use any logic to counter, but here directly, who is my mother? Who is my father? What is that verse?
First,
Samsaro yamativa vichitra. Who's my mother? Who's my father? Who's my wife? You know, who? Kaun hai? Think. So all the attention. This was an example we just took. With the help of the example, we are seeing the involvement of the mind. And it can be any role that we have taken on. It can be any desire that we want fulfilled. It can be any place we want to go. Someone wants to climb Mount Everest. Someone wants to become master chef. Someone, how much involvement? It's fascinating. Therefore, give them up tyaktva, chhod kar. Use your faculty for something worthwhile, which is, kabhi to we have to entertain, who am I? Chhod kar, then start thinking, who really am I? I'm not this body is firm to all of us now. Over the years of listening, I'm not the body. Where am I stuck? क्या है जो हम नहीं छोड़ पा रहे? शरीर का मनन, I think a lot of us would have fairly accomplished in understanding. Where is it that we are not doing further manan? Sansar.
कितना सच्चा कितना झूठा
Right. And शरीर के ऊपर क्या है?
मैं आत्मा
वो तो सबसे ऊपर है. Subtler to body is
Mind.
So what am I not giving up is from the mind,
the thoughts.
the thoughts, the attachment to those thoughts that are causing disturbance. That's all. Therefore, Atma Jnana Vihinaha, without this koham soham vichar, Atma Gyan Vihina, without this thinking, who am I? Who are they? They are Mudaha. They are dumb people. Dumb means what? They are non thinking. I would prefer to call them intellectually lazy. We are intellectually lazy. क्लास खत्म होने के बाद हम क्या करने वाले हैं? We'll be honest. क्लास खत्म होते ही क्या करेंगे?
खाना बनाना है.
Etc. But till the next time, till the next class, is it going to be in any way a part of my everyday thinking process? Why am I studying the Shastra? Therefore, bringing it into everyday vichar. The minute the class is over, I need to spend some little time, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. What am I supposed to think on? What am I to leave that is preventing me, becoming my obstacle to have my Brahma Gyan, to own up my Brahmanhood? What prevents me? It could be lifelong, it can be lives long, doesn't matter. That's not important. But am I on that process? Am I on that journey? Am I doing what is to be done? Atma Jnana Vihina, without Atma Jnana, these who are intellectually lazy people means they are Mudaha, they are fools. Te Pachyante, they only get cooked or they cook. They get tormented. They get so disturbed if you don't do vichar of the real, holding these things that are part of what has come with the body, our relations and our acquisitions and our effort to preserve them, they can become the source of disturbance, as torturing it can be, as if someone is held captive. Naraka nikudaha, deeply held in narak. Narak is hell. So much disturbance that, people say that also. I am living a hellish life. Hellish. They use the word hellish. This is hellish. Naraka nikudaha, held as captives, as if my own mind is holding me captive with what? Kamam, Krodham, Lobham, Moham, Ityadi, etc., etc. It can be anything. It holds my mind so deeply that it torments me. Without Atmagyan, there is no resolution to that torment. It will hold you is the right thing. It will torment is the right thing. It has to torment by default because it's not you. आपने अपनी उपाधि में डाला है. आपने कहा है मैं मदर हूं. मदर मैं हूं. The same मैं who is a mother to my child is a child to my mother. तो अब मैं चाइल्ड हूं कि मदर हूं? दोनों हूं. The same मैं is a sister to my brother or sister, and a wife or husband to my same मैं. ये मैं इतना बटा हुआ है क्या? Is मैं so divided? Can मैं be divided? Is मैं, you have to think. Here I am dividing it. I've divided it as मैं mother हूं, मैं child हूं. तो मैंने क्या किया? What have I done? I have divided मैं. I think I'm only doing a role, but I have actually divided. I have added this to मैं. Childness to मैं, motherness to मैं, my friendness to मैं, my wifeness to मैं, my husbandness to मैं, my brotherness to मैं, my sisterness to मैं, my when you hold on to them, then they are sources of deep disturbance. Therefore, इनको छोड़ के, he is telling us, leave them and start the inquiry. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. Every day, it should be a very conscious process. At least I can know what is disturbing me. Whatever disturbs me, what is going to be my effort is to find my samatvam. That samatvam, whatever prevents me from being samatvam, I have to give it up. Okay. So the next verse then is, now he says, what are the disciplines you can take for it? This is one of the last verses. We said the first 12 verses Shankara gave, Dvadasha Manjarika Sutra, then Chaturdasha Manjarika Sutra, 1 each the student gave. This is one of the last ones that his last 14 students that were going with him, one of them said this, and these he encapsulates all the spiritual disciplines here. Very simply, very beautifully puts it in one verse. Geyam Gita. All Geyam Gita, Nama Sahasram. Sing, to be sung. Gita, Gao. Sing Gita. Which Gita? Bhagavad Gita, any knowledge for that matter. Sing. Nama Sahasram. Do your Sahasranamas. Whatever they are. Vishnu Sahasranam, Lalita Sahasranam, or any, there are many in our thing. Anything that you want to. Sing the Gita. In the previous verse, he said one of them, what was it? Even if you have studied a little Gita. Kinchit Gita. Adhita. Kinchit Adhita. Even if you've done a little study of the Gita, this bhaya of samsar can be gone. It can be taken care of. Geyam Gita means you enjoy that adhyanam. When you sing, it means you are enjoying it. You are able to connect to it. When you sing, when you hear any song, tell me some song. Let it be a good song, huh? Not one of those. Some good song. I'll tell you. Wait, wait. You don't tell me. I'll tell you. Um, जिंदगी कैसी है पहेली हाय. Now, what is this word saying? जिंदगी कैसी है पहेली हाय. The whole sentence is what? What is this life? Hi means you're wondering. When you're singing, means you're connecting to the words. अर्थ बोध हो रहा है. अर्थ बोध हो रहा है means you are understanding the meaning of the words. Gita Geyam. When you chant the Gita, you should have the artha bodh. That is why the Parayanam is done. Because as you keep gaining the Ucharan of the verse, correct Ucharan of the words, whenever you hear the meaning, now artha bodh hoga. Zindagi kaisi hai paheli? Hi, you don't need vyakhyanam on it. You don't need a teacher to explain what is this in the word. What is this in the song. In the same way, Geyam Gita, to be sung. Revel in it. How? Ajasram. Here in the word. Ajasram means actually, the simple meaning is always, but it actually means without fatigue, without exhaustion, without dejection, without giving it up. Till you have learned to have the artha bodh from the shabda. Without fatigue, without exhaustion, sing the Gita. Means, or do the Sahasranama of Vishnu or anyone. Here he says Nama Sahasranam, any Sahasranam. Dheyam, to be thought of, meditated, meditate upon. Shri Pati, जो श्री का पति है. श्री कौन है? नॉट श्री देवी. ओके, श्री देवी कौन है? लक्ष्मी देवी. उनका पति Vishnu. Shripati Rupam, the form of Vishnu, means you have to do a dhyanam of mental upasana, meditate on, dhyan on the roop of Vishnu or whoever is your whoever is your deity, whoever is your personal deity. Hanji? Ishtadev. Correct. Whoever is your Ishtadev. Keep your mind in these minimum practices. Ucharan, sing, which means a physical action. Nama Sahasram, again Parayanam, with some bhakti bhav, allowing devotion to flow through you towards the object of your Ishtadevata. Anything in the name of Ishvara, whoever it is, there has to be a devotion flowing for it. Only then can you say that I am getting some chitta shuddhi. कि ये शरीर से जब हमारा वियोग होगा तो हमारा योग उससे बना है. That at least should happen. If I'm not able to do Atma Vichar, if you're doing Atma Vichar, you don't need that in between step. If you're able to do who am I, think about it. The previous student said, think about who are you. He is a direct Shankara student. Go straight to Vichar. But if you are not able to understand the Vichar and your mind is too involved with the roles which are to be done, Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram Dhyeyam Shri Pati Rupam Ajastram. Ajastram goes with all three. Geyam Gita Ajastram. Without fatigue, without exhaustion. Always. Nama Sahasram Ajastram. Regular. with whatever your discipline is. Dhyayam Shripati. Your meditation without fatigue, without it means don't give it up. Neyam. Then with the physical body, what do you do? Neyam, to be led. Jao. क्या करो इस शरीर को लेके जाओ. Take the body where sajjana sange, in the company of sat, sajjan, in the company of the wise people, in the company of those who are following these practices already. Keep, go towards them. Take the steps of taking your body as an name to be led to the company of the people who follow the Satmarg. How? Ajasram, without fatigue, without exhaustion. Don't give it up. Don't get hopeless about it. Keep seeking the right company. Somewhere you will find your own water level, wherever you find that water level. It will happen. Or otherwise, from satsang is the only way, he said in one of the verses before. Satsang is your only way you can bring your mind out of this samsara. Keep, I like the word neyam, you know, leke jao. Go seek the company where satsang is held. Chittam, with your mind, be involved in that satsang. Follow it. Neyam sajjana sange chittam. Go with the body and chit, keep it involved with your, in the company of the sat. What else to be done? One of the last exercises he says, Deyam Deena Janaya Chavittam, and give dan to those who need it. Deena Janaya, people who are lesser privileged than you are. Have the large heartedness or whatever. Dhanam in itself is a purification. It's one of the ways of purification. What is dhanam? Dhanam is a purification only when you have given it to the patram. The patram in Bhagavad Gita, through Vyasa, Krishna is going to talk about sattvic dhanam, rajasic dhanam, tamasic dhanam. So most of us are just giving away, but it becomes a sattvic dhanam when you have given it to the right person at the right time, who wants it, who will benefit from it in the right way, the right thing. That is actually very rare a chance sometimes people get to give such a dhanam. We think just giving away money is dhanam. To the dina, to the needy. Who's a needy? Is it only the physical material thing that one is in need of? So whatever falls in your prarabdha, whoever falls in your way in your prarabdha, who needs what? If you have it, you give it. For which you must have first. Nowhere is it said that whatever, if you don't even have, give it away. That's not Vedic Shastra method. The method is you should have the overflow, the abundance. That's why you seek abundance first. And through that abundance, the patram where you give should also be deserving it. Otherwise, your dhanam doesn't become purification for you. You've given it, you'll earn something, some punyam probably, but it's not going to purify you. But dhanam is one of the ways. So he says, with your mind, keep it involved in the shastra, seek the vidya, sing it, let the mind enjoy it, and meditate on the form and seek the company of the righteous people, dharmic people, followers of Sat, those who are inquirers, those who are at least looking for who has got the bhagyam of, uh, of let me rephrase this, to meet fully a full Gyani, a Purna Gyani. Uh, we have to also have the bhagyam for it. We have to earn it. So till then, be with these practices which will earn us this bhagyam. That may we have that bhagyam, that association from the Satpurush itself, who is an Atmanisht, Atmagyani. In the meantime, these are the minimum spiritual practices which will help non involvement in samsar. काम को बढ़ने नहीं देगा, क्रोध को बढ़ने नहीं देगा, मोह मद मात्सर्य, all these are indirectly kept in check when you are directing the mind into these. So in a daily routine, these things are a part of daily routine. A mind which keeps itself engrossed in the day. While you do go about doing your worldly duties, वो तो सबको करना है. While you're engaged in doing that, you are also simultaneously incorporating this in your daily life in whichever measure you can. And therefore, he says, do these. And in a way, he brings in karma, bhakti, and gyan. But from pure Vedic standpoint, bhakti and karma are not different. So they are together. Gyan is the direct means. So till one acquires that capacity to do koham vichar, soham vichar, till then purification happens through these disciplines. Okay, I think I'll end here. And next Monday, I think we won't have a class. There'll be post Diwali. So we'll still be in the hopefully festival, enjoying with our families. We'll leave it next Monday. Then after that, we'll continue. I think we should be ending. We have finished 27, so there's just a few. Now they're concluding verses. The rest of them are concluding verses. So we should hopefully finish it soon. So
how about Tuesday?
Tuesdays also, I think, I don't know the exact date, but yeah, there'll be Govindam Puja, then there'll be Bhaja. So, but we'll keep it open. If it's possible, I'll send a message. Even Monday, if it's possible, I'll send a message. For now, we'll leave it.
Monday is good, Ditiji. I mean, the Deepavali gets over on Sunday.
I know. I'll confirm on Monday. Check your messages. I'll confirm on Monday. Okay. As of now, maybe no class. If there is a class, you'll get a message. Okay. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayaha. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhave. Asato ma Sadgamaya. Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Recording stopped.
Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Ji.
Hari Om Ji.
Hari Om,
Happy Diwali to everyone.
Happy Diwali. Thank you,
Enjoy.
Ditiji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om, everyone.